Hello, this is Monica. I'm the Creative Beast, and this is my YouTube channel where I share flip-through videos of the art books I make for the Are You Book Enough monthly art book challenge. And this is another flip-through of another art book. The theme was for September 2019. The theme was Ticket. I actually made two books that month for the theme, as I had one idea that I eventually played out in another book, and I will share a link to that video down below. But the first book I wound up making is the one I'm about to show you now. It turned out to be an altered book. I had a lot of fun making this book, and I want to go ahead and let's do a little bit of camera magic so we can get focused on this first book, Ticket, for September 2019 for the Are You Book Enough monthly art book challenge. So the actual book was a small children's board book. I do a lot of volunteer work at a local library, and I managed to acquire a lot of different books that I use for my art books, for altered books, for some altered book journals. And these little board books were really fun. They were small, as you can see. They fit in the palm of my hand. And because they're so thick, I felt like they really kind of lend themselves to some really fun altering. So what I did for this particular book was I altered it and decided to make a series of tickets or tags for a good life. Tickets for a good life. So I added some collage to the cover, different elements that were lying around my home, some artsy stamps, some washi tape, some manuscript paper for notating and music writing, some rubber stamps of various kinds. So that's the cover. I added some rayon hem tape to tie the book up. I actually kind of added a page. As you can see, most of the pages are really thick, but this one here at the beginning and this one here at the end are not so thick because they were actually added in so that I could create some end papers for this book. And the end papers are actually cut from a single sheet of some small scrapbook paper that were sized 8x8. And it was already collaged that way, but I really liked it. So it kind of adds to all the collage. I created this little colophon for the book, actually with a little help from my dear boyfriend. I gave him some paper that he could make these on, which also played out in the second book that I can give you a quick peek of. So I had him print out some elements, and then I cut them in such a way so it looked like a little ticket. And that's how I made the colophon for Are You Book Enough September 2019 Ticket Book 1. And what I did when I altered this book is I actually ripped off the original book pages, and it still wound up being very thick, but I ripped it off so I could do collage on the blank pages instead, and it had a nice toothiness to the paper once the slick pages were ripped off so that things could be glued and would stick really well. I'm going to move these little tickets out real quick so you can see how I also used tracing paper for the pockets so you can see the entire collaged spread underneath all of the pockets. So when you remove the pockets, you can still see some collaged things happening underneath. That is from a bougainvillea plant. I often pull petals from bougainvillea plants and press them to use in other ways. So let's look at these tickets. Let's see what they say. So this is also scraps of some collage paper I've made in the past. I had lots of scraps left over, so they wound up being tickets for the book, which is why they are cut this way, because they were, some of the parts were skinny, but they couldn't really be cut all the way even. And I kind of liked these asymmetrical ends and added some floss that matched the colorings for some fiber elements. So here's a ticket for a good life. Imagine. It's good to imagine things. Imagination helps make a good life. Rest. Good rest also helps make a good life. So we'll remove these. You can see, kind of make out the layout. Some rubber stamped scrap, more rubber stamps, pages, dyed, and some tracing paper pockets. Create. Creating always makes a good life. You can create a meal. You can create a garden. You can create some music. Trust. Having some trust that things will work out helps make a good life. Let's see what kind of layout we have under here. Some more rubber stamping, some other scraps, some bits of book pages. You can just make out the mixed media collage spread on the pages. Reflect. A little reflection also makes a good life. Some contemplation and reflection. Play. Play always makes a good life. It's good for some playtime. Creative playtime, physical playtime, mental playtime. Play is good for the brain. It's good for the soul. Oh, oops, okay, so I removed that from there by accident. Let's put that back. Okay, there's another spread you can kind of make out. Scraps or stamp of numbers. This little rubber stamp is actually a bicycle brake I found on the street one day. It's rubbery, so I thought, hey, that could make a fun rubber stamp. You see it pop up every once in a while. And of course, because the brakes were used, that's why some of it is a little worn off on the side. Okay. Enchant. There are ways you can enchant your day, makes a good life. Finding the enchantment in little things. Being enchanted by little things makes a good life. Wish. It's good to make a wish. Or two. Or more. Wishing makes a good life. Taking some action towards those wishes is also a good idea. Okay, let's remove these. And another, you can just make out another spread. Vintage stamp. Some script tickets, scraps. All hiding underneath some tracing paper. Tracing paper, I like to think it's the poor man's vellum. I like using it a lot. Tracing paper's fun. Wander. Wandering makes a good life. You can let the mind wander, let your feet wander. Wandering can create a fun adventure. Adventure is also good for the life. A little fun wandering adventure. You never know what you're going to find. You never know what's going to come up. Another vintage postage stamp. Hope. It's good to have hope. Having hope definitely makes a good life. And then the end of the book. Tickets for a good life. I thought one aspect of this book would be a sort of pulling each ticket for a little daily guidance. You know, you have the book, pull a ticket. What are the instructions for the day? Make some time to rest so you have a good life. Or you pull another ticket that says, enchant. Look for something that will enchant your day. Or maybe you do something to enchant someone else's day. Doing things for others is definitely a way of having a good life. And I love seeing all these colorful fibers sticking out of my book. It's a lot of fun. I've been thinking of making other ticket books, and I will be working on that in time. So feel free to take a look at all the links beneath this video so that you can find my Etsy shop, and you might want to follow that. So when I have new offerings and new items, you'll be the first to know. You can also sign up for my email list where I have special coupons for my email people. And then when I make another one of these ticket books, you'll know when it's ready and available. And of course, I never make the same thing twice. So if I make another book, it will have a different cover. The tickets will be a little bit different. They will look differently. So it will definitely be a one-of-a-kind art book creation that you can have as a collector of art books. So thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Look for me online with the different links you'll find beneath this video, and I'll see you again next time.